Yep, ready when you are, mate. Welcome to Friday night Quizmasters Rugby League on a Wednesday night here from Dudley Oval, the Anzac Eve clash between the Dudley Magpies and the Waratah Mayfield Cheetahs. I'll be your commentator tonight, Chris McPherson, and as I said, we have the home side, the Dudley Magpies in the white jerseys with the black shorts, and Waratah Mayfield in the maroon and gold. We'll just run through the team list before the teams come out. The home side in the 1, Tom Morton. On the wings in 2 and 5, Mitch Saxton and Riley Adlington. In the centres, Liam Sheridan and Ryan Hendrick. In the halves, in the 6, Nathan Tuckerman. At 7 is Nathan Stafford. In the 8, Pierce Riddell. 9 is Trent Spicer. The other prop in the 10, Joel Williams. The captain in 11 is Terry Collins. In 12, Damien Stafford. 13, Corey Baker. 14, Kirk Roberts. 16 is Ben Roddenby. 17, Nathan Walters. 18, Cody Bridges. 19, Brody Hetherington. And 20, Jacob Hosking. The Waratah lineup is 1, James Whipper. 2 is Carl Stanton. 3, Josh R.C. 4, Jackson Myers. The 5 is Isaac John. 6 is Warren Towers. The 7 is their captain coach, Jason Boney. In the 8 is Michael French. The other front rower is Dwayne Sambo Sampson. In the 9, Garrison Steele. The back rowers are Mikey Nanai in 11, Jesse Ballenden in 12, and Alia Hromadzik in the 13. The reserves, Sam Phipps in 14, Joel Witters 16, Ray Fuller 17, Ty Pattinson 18, Josh Gibson in 19, and in 25 is Sione Usaya. I'm joined today in commentary by Belmont South captain coach Aaron Morris. Chop, good to have you here.
Yeah, mate, just making me debut on the microphone. We'll see how we go.
Mate, I think you, like me, have been told a few times you've probably got a head for audio, so we're going all right.
Absolutely, mate. I've missed a fair few teeth, probably been a bit too lippy, so that makes sense.
What are you looking forward to here tonight, mate? Obviously a good clash of two A-grade opponents that you guys will see during the season.
Mate, just pretty interested to see how Dudley handled the Waratah pack. They're very big and very physical. We played them a few weeks ago, and it was probably one of the more physical games I've played in this comp, and it was only a trial for 50 minutes, so...
They've got some handy players there, you know, with some good experience, the likes of Dwayne Sampson, Alia Hromadzik, those sorts of guys, even Mikey French. So, I just say they're quite physical, and they've got some pretty astute guys in the halves too, in Bones and Warren Towers.
That Bones can run, mate. He played touch footy with us that night. And that Dwayne Sampson, mate, there's not much of him, but he knocked me fair on the arse, but that happens quite a lot these days.
That'd be the biggest compliment Sambo's ever got, I think. So, yeah, certainly looking forward to a decent clash. Dudley's got a pretty decent-sized pack too. They will miss Sam Collins tonight. He's obviously a pretty decent out, the brother of their captain coach. But they've got some big boys coming off the bench. The young Jacob Hosking will be interesting to see coming off the bench, mate. He's a bloke you would have come across in your time.
Junior Mule goes good, mate. Just does all the simple shit right, finds the ground. He's pretty quick on his feet for a bigger boy. But I wasn't aware that Collins was out.
Yes, he's apparently holidaying with his better half. So, you know, good commitment to the team there from... big Sambo Collins, but we're just hearing the cheer from the boys, so it sounds like we'll have teams very soon. As we say, the referee's a man who's been around the traps for a long time, Kenny Weatherall with the whistle, Greg Ryan and Jai Pastor-Coglu on the lines. Kenny, you can't expect much better in the Newcastle Hunter, mate. He goes well, and he's been around for a long time.
Mate, Kenny's one of me faves, me little mate. I nearly ran him down one day. He's not as quick as he looks.
That must be slowing up, mate, if you can run him down. That nearly means I could. As we see Waratah take the field in their golden maroon strip. We'll see Dudley follow them out in a moment in their Anzac strip. They've got a special one-off kit for tonight, which is great to see. It's been a tradition they've done for the last few years, and they'll no doubt be led out by that man in the 11 we talked about a moment ago, Terry Collins. So we'll wait for them, and then it looks like we might be shaping up. We might have a last post playing with the bugle, which will be great. Nice little start to Anzac Eve, Chop.
Mate, they might even be playing it through number 13, Corey Baker's bugle. It is quiet and nostrils.
They could certainly do that through Baker's schnoz, that's for sure. So we'll wait and see. Looks like we've got George Hickey out in the field from the Newcastle Hunter Rugby League, so we might just hand over and see what we can pick up of their audio through the effects mic.
There, the boys.
What's up? How long? Just how long are they? Just this one. I will put in the shorts and put it in. Is that where they're putting it? So
Ladies and gentlemen, could we have everyone upstanding and be quiet? And we'll have the ode of remembrance for our Anzacs. They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them, lest we forget. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
There about what the public holiday, etc., is about. So, it's great to see, as we said, Dudley in their special strip tonight, paying tribute to the Anzacs. And it looks like we'll have Waratah kicking from left to right of your screen in tonight's Quizmasters trivia. What is normally Friday night footy on a Wednesday night this week with the public holiday eve. So, have kick-off in a moment for you. Chop, who's your tip here?
Mate, I've played up here on a few Friday nights and it's hard enough, let alone a Wednesday night Anzac Day. So I'm going to go with Dudley to finally hit a bit of form.
I'm going to go Waratah in a close one. I might have them by 2. I don't think there'll be too much separating these boys, but I'm expecting some fireworks off this kick-off. There's a few big bodies out here, so really looking forward to seeing how this starts. As Waratah set up the ball on the tee. Referee Weatherall gets us underway. Not the bigger they're looking for there, straight up. Managed to bring it back out of the in-goal there for tackle 1. Do our best to try and pick up some numbers, but it's quite difficult with the low lighting.
Those big snorky bakes there.
Yeah, you can't miss that even from 40 metres away.
Nah, must have been a bit of Vic stuck up the nostrils. There's a few notes missed in that last post.
It looks like the skip, Terry Collins, with the ball in hand.
Yes.
Let's go the blind side. Tackle 3. Take it almost up to the halfway now. Bring it back to the left.
Number 3, Liam Sheridan. Number 4, Ryan Hendrick. Number 5, Riley Adlington. Number 6, Nathan Tuckerman. 7, Nathan.
Go to the boot of Nathan Tuckerman. He goes to the midfield bomb. Looks like it's going to find the turf, and it does. They get the bounce. On the attack here through their hooker. Oh, he's thrown it to the turf. They might have got the bounce here, though. Pops it out the back. Let's play on, says referee. And that'll be it. They're a little bit nervous there for Waratah Chop. Probably not...
Interesting start.
Yeah, their fullback didn't look like he wanted too much of that.
That was a bit of a dead floater, wasn't it?
Certainly is. So Waratah will now be working to bring it out of their half. We'll see how that much vaunted big forward pack can do here. Look for a bit of second phase play from the likes of Dwayne Sampson and Alia Hromadzik. Scooting it out, the simple stuff to start with. Another scoot. Let's keep it very basic so far, Waratah. Probably an underestimated aspect of this sort of footy is just completing your sets and getting out of your half, especially early on, not getting pinned down on errors.
Absolutely, mate. That's all we've done all pre-season, is just try and get to our kick, just work on completing our sets and waiting for someone to make a mistake.
It's the oldest line in the book, but it's not a complex game at the end of the day.
Not in this competition, mate.
Boney putting it down. He's going to find the fullback, Tom Morton, on the full. Tom Morton comes over to Dudley from Central this year. He's got a bit of experience behind him, so he'll be a great addition to Dudley. I know they missed him last game. It probably wasn't the result that Waratah were after, as Dudley approached the halfway line on tackle 2, but they're driven backwards. Certainly don't miss in defence again there, Waratah. Their first up contact strong each time. And swing it to the left. And Tuckman drops the prop back underneath him. Yeah, the blind side again. That seems to be a tactic early for them. It's worked well here. Ball back inside.
Good try.
It looked like it was laid off by the skipper, Terry Collins. I can't get the number on the try scorer. Might be that man we touched on before, Tom Morton. I'm not too sure. We'll see what we can pick up. I'm sure the ground announcer will have it for us in a moment if we can't. What a treat there, going the blindside shot.
Yeah, I think that's going to be one of their biggest strengths, going to Terry out there. He's quite a large man to be hitting them holes like that. So if you're not body on him, then yeah, you're probably going to get that a lot. Yeah,
he's got plenty of experience. Another one that's played a fair bit of first grade, and he's got some good hands at the line. I think that high-level experience gives you that ability. So, and we saw that there. He just managed to do the right thing and draw the fullback. A lot of second rowers, even at this level, had bombed that.
Yeah.
As I say, it looks like Nathan Stafford with a conversion attempt. Made no mistake with that one, and 4 minutes gone. We've got Dudley Magpies 6, Waratah Mayfield Cheetahs yet to score. Waratah will certainly be looking to get a bit better field position. They won't want to turn over the ball on tackle 1 on the defensive 40, that's for sure, this time around. So, interesting to see. Dudley will be passing the message now to just make sure they complete this set. So Jason Boney to bring us back underway, if we can find a football. There we go, found one from the far side at last. Pretty healthy crowd in here for Wednesday night, Chop.
Yeah, they usually get a pretty good crowd up here, so I'd say a lot of them would be pretty keen to kick on right through to the dawn service, knowing a few of these Dudley boys.
Yeah, they'll certainly be raucous towards the back end of this game. I would have thought. I've heard a few quality crowds here when I've played here and refereed here, that's for sure. Either way, it's the most comfortable place. Mistake there from Dudley early.
Yeah, we've got a few of our boys on the hill that I'll be interested to see in the 2-up ring tomorrow and see what sort of state they're in.
Yeah, I heard them already from over this side, mate, giving you some feedback and some support. We might use that term loosely.
Yeah.
As I say, Waratah now is in prime attacking position. Have Warren Towers to feed the scrum. A 4-man set to the left with Boney. Big body of Jackson Myers standing at centre on this side, but he's not used. They go to Boney, he goes himself. There's those dancing feet you're talking about before, Chop.
Yeah, he's very light on them, very hard to get your hands on too.
There you go, they come to the right. It's the man from Moree, Michael French. Carts it up. Drop one under. Didn't get him far. He's tackled on almost the same patch of grass. And we tackle 3. Go to the left, Ali at dummies. He goes himself. It's handy having someone that size who can ball play.
Yeah.
That's tackle 4. Cut out ball. They got numbers on the outside. Tries to find the kick there, Warren Towers. But Dudley have found their way back into the field of play. Great job there. Probably had the numbers, but ran out of room there, Waratah.
Shot.
That looked like a shoulder charge, but referee Weatherall lets him carry on with that one. Dudley working hard. A few boys with hands on knees and hands on hips already. A few of their forwards are a little bit tired. Just out over the 20 on tackle 3. And go start to go a little bit wider. Waratah's defence rushing up at the A and B defenders. Let's tackle 5. They've only made it to 30 out from their line. They'll need a big kick here. I'll probably look to Tuckerman. Sure enough, that's where they go. He goes high. He's got a bit of depth on it. Plenty of time for the fullback there. Oh, he's made an absolute mess of that.
There we go.
Dudley's got the bounce. They race away. There's an offload back inside. Be interesting to see. He says they've taken their advantage. They've run probably 20 there. Couple of passes. Yeah, I'm happy with that one to go either way.
Straight to the left.
Had numbers here, didn't they? A couple of unmarked men.
Yep. And the big fella just wanted to get off the nerdy.
Yeah. Bit of white line fever, unfortunately, but they're in a lot better field position than it looked like they were going to be before that kick. One off the right. They run it here to the right. Looks like it might be Jackson Myers with the ball in hand. And he's coughed it up on the ground there. Errors are plenty in the first 10 minutes here. A few players starting to show the wear already.
Yeah, probably just a bit of the excitement, mate.
Yeah, it's not too much due or anything about early. I know I've had plenty about lately, but there's no real excuse for it at the moment. As you say, it might just be a bit of excitement / nerves. It's not that often these days you get to play nighttime footy, or especially on Anzac Eve and those sorts of things. Maybe you're starting to think about 2 up and schooners for tomorrow already.
Oh, mate, I've already
run through everyone's heads, I'm sure.
I've already got my mind all over it. Heads all day.
Hey, speaking of nighttime footy, you guys will host next round. You got a Friday night fixture down at Leningan.
Yep, up against Dudley, mate. So it should be a good crowd and hopefully become a bit of a local rivalry this year.
Yeah, could be very interesting too, with a couple of other sides in the mix for the regrade too. It looks like, I know the Windale boys are quite keen to come up, so if you added them into the mix for a Shortland or a Woodbury, that'd be some plenty of local derbies.
I can't really see anyone else who will come up besides Uni and Windale from B-grade. So
I think it'll be the same. I mean, Morris has probably got a strong enough side, but they got trounced last week, so that's not going to help them.
Nah, I think, haven't they all have 1 win, 1 loss?
Yeah, pretty much. It seems like that'll just play one game like Windale have, so I know Windale got a few out this week, but Dudley on the attack here, and it looks like they're going to barge over. Has he got it down? Touch judge looks like he's gone in, but now he's going back out. Hedging his bets, going each way. No. Try and make out what the decision is here. No, it looks like he's cautioning a player, so it looks like we might come back for a penalty. Dudley obviously lost it there, or threw a forward pass, and they'll come back here, but for the penalty by the look of it. As always, Kenny all over these things. Doesn't miss a beat.
Past him, mate.
And Dudley will have another set of 6 here inside the attacking red zone. Thought they almost would have only needed 1 there. They nearly got across. It's held up over the line there. Skipper again, Terry Collins. Well, look at their chop, just looking dangerous in the red zone.
Yep.
He's a damaging ball runner, he said, running those good lines. They bring it back to the left here. At the back of the second man play. Stafford drops him back under.
Oh.
Great run there by Sheridan. Another one with Central Newcastle experience. The scoop from dummy half. Has he gotten it down there? No, looks like he's been held up again there, Trent Spicer. Not their usual number 9. Cal Gray, normally the 9, but carrying some improvements to the melon today. So he's out for another week, unfortunately, after some head knocks against Fingal. And they go back to the right through Tuckerman. He goes to Collins. He gives the miss pass to the centre. He's trying to run around. Now he's throwing it back in hope. Wingers managed to break that tackle. He steps back infield. Brought down by his shorts. By French, it looks like. They're set to the left. They go back to the blind side again. The show and go there from the front rower. Looks like Joel Williams might have gone in there for Dudley's second, and they'll extend their lead out to 10 points to 0 with a kick to come. It's pretty simple stuff. Everyone was watching Terry Collins there by the look of it, just waiting for him to do something, and the front rower took it on himself to barge over.
Yep, straight over to 7, I think it was.
That's what you're trying to do as a big forward when you get out wide, just find a little fella.
Oh, we try our best. I've got to try and catch the ball first.
Yeah, there's a bit of a process to that, mate. I can vouch for that from my playing career too, though. So, you know, it's probably why I didn't amount any real heights in my career.
I try my best just to run decoys all day.
That's just the game plan. You get to make it up as the coach, so that's all right. You know, that was the game plan, boys.
Yeah, and then just point my fingers at others.
Yeah, exactly. You got a better success rate than Nathan Brown at the moment, so you're going all right.
Oh, don't get me started on that. Bloody hell.
I saw something the other day, mate. You're a Roosters fan now, I hear.
Oh, I nearly went head first off the pub on friggin' Sunday watching it.
Certainly a tough one to be a Knights fan at the moment, so just immerse yourself in the local footy. As Nathan Stafford pushes that one across the face, the score remains 10 points to 0, 12.5 gone here at Dudley Oval. It would have been a tough Sunday for you. Your old club too, Lakes, they started off pretty average in the Newcastle Rugby League as well.
I was just about to walk over and watch them, mate, but
I don't know what would have been worse.
40-0 at half time. They've got a pretty good young team down there. I think probably just a bit of inexperience might have got them a bit there.
Yep, first year coach as well in terms of first grade experience in Ags. He's been around the club for 100 years though.
Got a lot of time for Glenn Aglen, mate. He does know what he's doing coaching.
He knows his footy, that's for sure. As Waratah get us back underway. Bounces over Tuckerman. Goes back to our try score. It looks like Williams there. Bring it out of the in goal. He's a fair lump of a human, is Joel Williams. They go to the left. Through Baker, he gives it off. Looks like Baker's almost playing as that second half as opposed to Stafford doing too much ball playing here.
He's just trying to get that nose through the line, mate.
Well, mate, it's a fair target. It might get reshaped like Blake Ferguson's. There goes. Another scoot there for Dudley as they cross the 40. That's tackle 4. Go out the back. Early kick from Tuckerman. The winger's not there. He finds the grass. Oh, but he's found touch on the full. He certainly found grass just outside the sideline. Not the result they were after there. And Waratah with a quick chance to reply with some territory inside the attacking half. Interesting to see what they can do. Let's have a look at these centres here in front of us. This is got to be one of the biggest centre matchups you've ever seen here. Myers versus Sheridan.
Absolutely.
They're both bigger than any of the front rowers.
I'm glad that we've got a couple of good-sized centres this year ourselves, but both teams are pretty solid across the park, really.
Yeah, there's certainly some big bodies and plenty of them with some mobility. As we see some footwork there from one of the front rowers from Waratah. Slow play the ball. That won't help Waratah's cause. Spread it. They got the numbers here. Dudley look like they've slid. Nathan Stafford gave himself up there with a bit of a high shot.
Absolutely.
You're a halfback. You don't do much damage. You should be allowed to do a few of those, surely.
Oh, mate, I watched Robbie Payne do it on the reg. I don't think I ever seen Robbie
Payne's bigger than most of the front rowers, though.
I don't think I ever seen him tackle below the shoulder blades, mate. You're too lazy to bend his back.
I know when I used to referee, you certainly earned your money if you had Payne in between his high tackles, his questionable running techniques, and
his mouth.
And his, I was going to say constructive criticism, but yeah, sure, his mouth.
Most hated player in Newcastle, mate.
It used to be even more challenging to get him and Smalley out there. Still one of my favourite lines ever was Mike Rabbit doing commentary on the highlights one day, and Michael Small scored a try, and Michael Small looking anything but. I was like, geez, it's a bit harsh when you're getting potted by Rabs, isn't it?
He could motor for a big man still.
Yeah, he could move. He could he's sort of like you could probably throw anywhere in this sort of footy. You could throw him anywhere on a park, Smalley.
Mate, we actually played him one year at Window, and I'm pretty sure he was playing wing.
As we see Waratah, they spread it across the left there. He would have been a big winger, but I've seen bigger, so...
Willie Palau,
yeah, exactly right. Last year in the B-grade grand final. See Waratah not really having too much shape in their attack. It just seems to be hands is their option. See if they can come up with something more here. They go to the blind side, roll it in the in goal. Looks like Dudley might have grounded that one. But I would suggest we'll have goal line dropout. Waratah with another chance to attack here. So, yeah, that Woodbury side last year certainly had some big outside backs. Alfred Whaleboat, Willie Paleo. They would have been bigger than probably your 4-pack.
I didn't know much about them until I went up and watched the semis, and I watched them all walk out the sheds. I thought a few of them had retired. I thought that no one ever had to go through the nightmares that I had to go through with Willie Palau ever.
You see Tuckerman with a big dropout.
60 on the
That's
fly.
60 on the fly and bouncing and running. Warren Towers goes back, picks it up, probably about 25 out from his own line in the end. He's got a fair boot on him, Nathan Tuckerman. They're going to have to stick the tackle here, though. Undo all their good work as Waratah tackled on the halfway line here for tackle 1. Here's that man, Dwayne Sambo Simpson. He's about as broad as he is tall. He finds his front, gets a good play of the ball. Followed up by Leah Romadzik. I'll probably pronounce his name 5 different ways today as the hands go to the left here.
Twister, really, isn't it?
We've got some good hands there. They're looking quite slick, Waratah. Found their way to 10-metre line. There goes Alia again, trying to barge over. Brought down, though. They've got numbers here if they can bring it to the right quickly. Dudley trying to readjust. Boney used the hands quickly to Towers, out the back. To Myers. He thought about passing, then decided against it. The defence was up on him. They'd shot in. That's the last tackle. It'll be interesting to see what option they go here. Towers. He goes high, straight over the post. Tom Morton will have time, and he takes it cleanly. Made that look nice and easy there, Tom Morton.
Too easy. I've heard a bit about him. I've never really watched him play, but...
Yeah, we played a bit of first grade last year, I think, for Central Newcastle, the Butcher Boys in the Tui's Cup. So, or the Business Plaza Cup, as I think it might be now. Here's the man we talked up. We gave him a rap before the start, Jacob Hosking, and he's put that first one down cold.
He must have known we were talking about him, mate.
He must have. I hope he does a better job with people's houses than he does with that possession. One of the best young real estate agents around, I'm told, Jacob Hosking. So, here we see Waratah again. Another set attacking the line. This is essentially 3 in a row. Will the pressure start to tell on Dudley? Go at the back, the second man play. Just, for a flick pass there. That was a bit of a set play. Didn't quite come off. Go back to the left. It's a scoot there from the centre. Oh, the ball at the back. That's not the result they're after there. Oh, he's nearly slipped his way through, though. The Dudley players taking each other out in defence. So tackle 4. Oh, he's throwing that ball. Touchy could have caught that one and gone in himself. A little bit of panic there from Waratah. Probably undoes some good work, and they still had a tackle to work with there. And that'll see Dudley with a play the ball. Oh, sorry, no, it's a scrum. 10 out from their own line. Showed a few glimpses there. Looks like they've got some pretty slick hands in the outside backs, and even a couple of their edge forwards can move that ball along pretty quickly. They were swinging it left to right pretty quick.
That little 7, you just got to keep on him. He's pretty quick, so I guess that sort of helps the inside guys a little bit till he releases it. That's it.
And sure as you are, as soon as they make that decision to slide a bit faster or harder, he'll cut back against the grain, and you'll be grasping at thin air.
He found himself in open space a few times again. So.
Speaking of open space, Dudley trying to get on the outside here. They can't quite get there. That was Riley Adlington with the ball.
Sold.
Here we go. Poor marker defence there. He cuts back inside. Sheridan made some easy metres. He picked up about 40 metres there.
Sold a dummy as well as bloody Hoscar sells his houses.
Certainly did. You wouldn't think when you're that size you'd need to sell too many dummies, Chop, but I suppose if you can do it, why not? You see a few times here teams will, they'll put a couple of good plays together and then all of a sudden someone just throws a ball on the ground. I don't know whether it's fatigue or what it might be. There's that man, Hosco. He's got the flick pass out the back.
There you go.
The pass was on there, but I just don't think the man behind him, who I can't pick up who it is, was quite ready for it. Yeah, so that was Ryan Hendrick in support. Hosco's been known for years, the young mule. He likes to get that arm free and pop it around the corner or pop it back over the back, so probably something his teammates might need to adapt to. Waratah split both ways. They go to the blind side. Fruitless attack there, though, as they're driven backwards with multiple numbers in the tackle from Dudley. This is where the fatigue starts to tell. We're into the second half of the half. 21 gone. Dudley still leading this one 10 points to 0 over Waratah Mayfield. Waratah probably look the better of it at times, but just can't capitalise as they make the mistake there.
Dudley handling the pack pretty well.
They certainly are. It'll be interesting to see how they continue to match it. But, yeah, Waratah at times have certainly looked the better side, but Dudley just capitalised when they've had these opportunities. And it'll be interesting to see if they can do that again here, because a 3-try lead will... I mean, it won't really reflect the game we've had so far, but,
No.
you know, at the end of the day...
It can be really deflating to have things like that go against you.
Certainly can. Have a look here. It looks like they've got the numbers set to the left, Dudley. As they go to Stafford. He swings it.
Ball.
Cut out ball. Winger was a long way in.
That was a great ball.
Simple football. They just couldn't make the decision there. He got caught in no man's land chop and paid the ultimate price with a great cutout ball, as you said.
He didn't really actually need to be in there. They had the numbers, but yeah, it was a good ball.
No story trusting your inside man, unfortunately. And as we touched on, Dudley making the most of another opportunity. And they'll have a conversion from out wide here on the eastern touchline just in front of us as they lead 14 points to 0. About 22 and a half gone here at Dudley Oval in the Quizmasters Wednesday night Newcastle and Hunter Community Rugby League game, brought to you by Bar TV Sports. And it's amazing after defending a few sets on your own line, the sort of things that can do for confidence, coming straight down and essentially first tackle just going in.
I said they're hard enough here in a night game, let alone let them get a leg up this early. So I think Waratah's going to have a pretty hard time pegging them back from here, mate.
Yeah, I certainly think they definitely need to score next. If Dudley go in again, especially before the break, it's going to be a very sombre shed over in the Waratah side here at Dudley. You see Nathan Stafford come in. Strikes it well, but pushes it just... No, he snuck it inside that postal. Thought he'd taken it across the face. Extends their lead to 16 points to 0 here at Dudley Oval. The Dudley Magpies leading the Waratah Mayfield Cheetahs, who are yet to score. Well, obviously shows how much I'm knowing about the tipping, mate. I tipped Waratah early. They've looked good when they've been in attacking position, but just haven't really punched through the line. And it's all well and good to look good, but if you can't get through that line, as we've seen, plenty of competitions, it's not much good to you.
I think Dudley's just got a lot of class in their team, just come from a few different teams. So probably just taken a few games for it all to click. And being a Wednesday night before Anzac Day, if they didn't click the night, it could have been panic stations for them, really, if they couldn't do it at home. Yeah,
certainly could have. I talked with Terry Collins last week, and he sort of said that they hadn't clicked, and the fact they've missed both their halves last week. Their first choice halfbacks out for the season, but Nathan Tuckerman obviously coming back in is a great addition. He played probably well below his grade at North Newcastle last year, but he's probably, when fit, close to a first grader. So the addition of him and his combination, he and Corey Baker and Terry have all played together quite a lot. And there's a bunch of them that have played together at Central. Oh. Speaking of guys from Central, Liam Sheridan is one of those, and he makes no mistake. He's a damaging ball runner out on this left edge. So you add him to Terry Collins on the right edge, and you got your work cut out for you. It's Dudley going to the attacking half, but a mistake there. From the fresh forward there, Nathan Walters. He's coughed that one up, and Waratah will take possession of the ball with a scrum just short of halfway. Waratah with the feed here. Ball's in and just stayed in the base of the scrum there for a long time after it cleared the second rowers and gave Dudley the opportunity to get up there. Tackle there for one. Tackle one for Dudley. They'll be happy with that to keep them out of their half to start the set. That's tackle two. Might have got away with a high shot there. It was borderline. Looks like the referee was unsighted. See Michael French drop back under by Boney. There we go. Haven't had too many penalties today. It's been pretty flowing apart from a couple of errors.
Kenny's pretty good like that. As long as you don't get too lippy with him, he just lets the footy go. But as soon as someone starts carrying on, then bit of quicksand.
That's what you need at this level too. There's no point in just blowing the pee out of it. It isn't going to assist the game, that's for sure. I learned that the hard way a few times.
Scrums are good. It gives us a blow.
There's been a few of those, that's for sure. Interesting to see here. They've got Alia Romadzik set really wide in the centres. He could be the danger man to go to here. He's talking to Towers already to set something up. Wants for him to swing on tackle 2 or 3. He takes it. French just takes that one up. That was a flat pass at best, I think. There we go. Looks like they've got someone going through, have they? Yep. Ball out the back. Romadzik dropping back in. Those feet at the line. Steps back through. Slices through. Easy as you like. And Romadzik gets the Waratah Mayfield Cheetahs on the board. That brings us to 16 points to 4 with a kick to come. Made that look very easy, Aaron Morris.
He's pretty quick for his size, isn't he?
Very light on his feet, too, considering he's obviously quite top heavy.
I was seeing a couple of our boys try and put a shot on him the other week, and he knocked them off, and it's very rare I see them boys get knocked off. So I
was going to say, he's one of those guys, though, like, especially when he's drifting
strong
across field there and cutting back. Unless you hit him square on and get a good piece of him, you're going to find yourself on the ground just going, hang on a sec, where the hell did he go? I'll just be like watching Joey Leilua on the weekend.
I'll just be another mantelpiece on someone else's wall, mate.
Yeah, I'll say the good thing for me is I never actually got to them. I just, fell over trying. I was Darius Boyd defence.
I keep trying. I keep thinking I'm going to get a different outcome, but I keep on doing backflips.
One day, mate. One day.
One day.
One day, one of those wingers will come straight at you.
The crowd will probably be filthy. They probably only come to watch me get me bloody ass handed to me.
That's all right, mate. At least you're giving the punters what they want.
Man of the people.
Yeah, that's certainly right.
Waratah might be missing a few of their big boys tonight, actually.
Yeah, I think they've rested a couple, Waratah, but we've still got a couple there with the Alia, who we just saw go over, French, Sampson. A couple of others there that I'm not as familiar with. Big Mikey Nanai as well.
Front rows caused us a bit of grief, and I don't think I've seen him out there yet.
As Boney makes no mistake, adding those extras from next to the post. And that leaves us at Dudley 16, Waratah Mayfield 6, with just over 11 minutes remaining in the first half here. And Nathan Tuckerman with that booming boot to bring us back underway here. Have an interesting finish to this first half here, especially if Waratah can grab some momentum from that try. Wobbling torpedo off the tee. There's winding up Michael French. Here he goes again, the try scorer Alia. Dudley smartly get plenty of numbers in that tackle early. Got 3 guys on the blind side, marking 1 here. That could spell trouble for Dudley. Good tackle there. Dudley had been really good post-contact in defence, driving them back a lot of the time.
It's been surprising how easily they've handled the pack. I actually thought that Waratah would just play power through the middle, but it's just not working for them.
Well, it certainly isn't. They've got a couple of big bodies on their bench still to come, which might be interesting. Might add some spark, but they certainly haven't been able to break through yet. You see Warren Towers, he puts it straight down the throat of Tom Morton. They've just been finding him on the full every time, Morton.
Yeah.
Not what you're aiming for. Wouldn't be finding some turf there. Might need to try a different tactic with the kicking. Good scoot there. Takes him up almost to halfway on the second tackle. One of the early try scorers back on there, Joel Williams. He's come back on after a spell. Just making easy meters at the moment, Dudley. The Waratah guys look like they're out in the feet. I mean, it's not like they've had to defend a disproportionate amount here, Aaron. So quite surprising, really, that Dudley, as you say, are making such easy meters here. As we see Stafford go back against the grain. He's beaten a couple. Throws a best class as a speculator out to Sheridan, the danger man on the left edge. Ooh, nearly got the arm free. That's the last tackle. What will they do here? They go to the right. Tuckerman, he rolls it in. Has he knocked that on, or has he got it down? Whether or not the spot,
4 points.
He's happy with
That's
it. He
try.
points to the spot. That's a try. Get a number on that one. Hopefully it wasn't Corey Baker, mate. We won't hear the end of that.
Is he still out there? Bloody hell. Haven't seen the Snorky for a while.
Maybe that's why they're going so well. They're just in that wind tunnel behind his schnoz. Aerodynamics.
If it works.
That extends the lead, as we said. That takes it out to 20-6 with 8.5 to go here in the first half. A quick response to Waratah's try. So we're essentially back to where we were only 5 minutes ago.
They seem to be doing it pretty easy down when they get in the half, don't they?
They just roll on. They're getting their fronts. Just what we talked about before. It's that simple stuff. As we see Nathan Stafford convert that one easily from just to the right of the goalpost at the southern end of Dudley Oval, extending their lead out to 22 points to 6. A few of the Waratah boys, they look like they had their heads back up again after their try, but again, the body language starting to tell. They're walking back here a little bit. He certainly, again, comes back to what we talked about just before. They've got to be the next ones to respond here.
It's just a hard field to play at, Dudley, especially night game. I don't know what it is. I don't think I've ever come here and had an easy game against them.
It always feels like it's darker than anywhere else. I was coming down here. I left home and I wasn't going to bring a jacket. I was like, oh, it's not going to be cold. It's always cold. It's always 5 degrees colder than it needs to be. The wind whips through here.
Mate, I'm bunkered up in the car with the heater on here.
I'm just waiting for you to just jump over the fence, grab some timber and just little campfire on the sideline, mate.
Little campfire.
Yeah.
Settle in for tonight.
Yeah, why not? Only just up the hill to the Dudley Dawn service.
I like a good time.
As we see Dudley bring it out of their own end now. There's Joel Williams carting it forward again. Again, big, easy meters from the big bodies. And he gets the quick play of the ball as well.
There he is, big Snorky. Oh, he nearly got it knocked off his head.
Well, Sambo might have been looking for him there. Those two would know each other from around the lower grade tracks of Central and South.
There's a little bit of extra feeling in that. Oh, no way.
Oh, everyone's missed that. I think that's gone through about 4 lots of hands.
It's got to be a try.
This is about whether or not anyone touched it. I think they've all missed it. Touchy's gone in, though. And Dudley. Just everything's coming up Dudley tonight. Bounce the ball and it. You have those nights, don't you, Chop, when you go somewhere and it's just, as we said, the temperature's against you, everything else is against you, and then it feels like every bounce the ball goes against you as well.
They just seem to be in it, but, there was, 3 or 4 chases on that kick in the corner.
Yep.
Could have been lazy and just let it bounce and try and tackle him, but little extra efforts, I guess.
Exactly right. It's just those little extra percentages, and looks like I might have a Dudley player down in goal here, but that try has extended their lead out to 20 points now. They lead 26 points to 6 with about 6 minutes to go here. So, again, tonight's game live streamed to you by Bar TV Sports, brought to you by Quizmasters Trivia. Waratah just looking almost desolate behind the in-goal there. They're going to have a real job to cut out for them from here. I just don't see how they turn it around.
Yeah, I wouldn't like to be in the sheds at half-time. Could be a few F-bombs drop.
It certainly will be. It'll be interesting.
Could be like the old coach that we had, Scotty Davies. He just used to come in the sheds and light up a durry. Just kick back. If he had a can of beer, mate, he would have drunk it. We just didn't let him get it. He knew how to calm you down, but I don't know if it was the cigarette smoke blowing through the sheds or what, but it seemed to work.
Yeah, it's all different strokes for different folks, I suppose. And the other coaches that come in, and I don't remember seeing Paul Stringer down at Wyong one day. He put his fist through a window.
Well,
if that doesn't inspire you to do something, I don't know what will.
From one extreme to another.
Yeah, exactly right. So, unfortunately, that Dudley player, we can't make out who he is. He's still down in the in-goal. The kick from Nathan Stafford wasn't successful. Seeing the score remain at 26 points to 6 to the Dudley Magpies over the Waratah Mayfield Shooters. 5 to go here in the first half. How is it when you come from being part of this, if you're on the losing side of this school and you go into the sheds as a captain coach, like Jason Boney's obviously got that role here at Waratah, how do you switch from, essentially getting everyone else revved up when, you've potentially been part of the problem yourself?
Mate, I'm still a bit fresh of the whole coaching thing, so we've just got a good support staff, so I sort of just lean back on them to take over in them moments and just try and do a bit more on the field. But we've got a fair few older blokes in the team this year that have got a fair bit of experience about them, so I think it's just all about trying to keep calm, really, and just get back to doing simple things right. Yeah, no,
I agree with that. Obviously, talking to Terry Collins last week after they lost the Fingal, and he said that's exactly what set in. The panic sets in, and if you can't rein that in as a coach by being that calm person, I guess it can. You can be all emotional and emotive if you want, but unless you've got the right troops that are going to respond to that, sometimes just revving people up more just means that everyone's.
Sometimes it's worse. The worst thing for it, mate. Just got to put people down more. Just got to try and get a bit of confidence back, and like I said, just get back to trying to play footy.
Yep.
As simple as it is, just get your kicks and hope something goes your way.
There's no doubt they've got the talent. We saw Alia's try. We've seen Jason Boney dance through a couple of times. Their fullbacks look slippery at different points, and they've got a couple of other big bodies that are making okay meters. So it's just about bringing all those things together for a few sets in a row, and all of a sudden you find yourself back in the arm wrestle.
A few bounces of the balls, a couple of calls go your way, and you're back in the game. I think it can happen.
Certainly can, as fortunately we see the Dudley players back to his feet there. I still can't pick who it is, but might actually be the try scorer. I think he absolutely put his body on the line there and came a gutser, as you might say, as Boney brings us back underway down into the northeastern corner, taken by Sheridan. And they bring it back out to just over the 10-metre line for tackle one. Come the blind side. Through Brody Hetherington there. Take it back to the middle. We tackle three. Again, Williams taking another good run. They just can't seem to get him onto his back. Doing everything they can in the wrestle to try and flip him over, but can't do it on the big body. Tuckerman with the early kick. He goes
That's
high.
That's a huge Gary Owen. Oh, good catch.
Taking that one. He didn't look real comfortable under that one again, Chop.
No, I thought he dropped it, actually.
Isaac John carts that one forward. Clipped on the top of the shoulder by Jacob Hosking. See Jackson Myers cart that one forward from easy 8 or 9 metres.
Dudley's line speed seems to have picked up a bit too, so...
Yeah, they see that half-time.
It's only getting harder and harder.
They certainly got some a different intensity about them. Waratah almost looking for runners at different points here. We've got Alia Homadzik set on the blind side though, so don't be surprised to see him come here. Sure enough, they do. Waratah beg for the penalty and they get it.
Try you can just give them that little bit of kick in the half-time.
Certainly could. You'd have your tails up if you got back into the sheds here, only 26-10 or 12 down.
Makes a big difference.
We see the old chestnut of the automatic 10 metres on the far side of Dudley, one of the nuances of this ground. As they're worried about kicking it over into the shrubs. I'd be arguing that I could kick it further than 10 metres, but I wouldn't even make touch. So.
The only field I kick for touch at, mate. I only kick on this side.
And they go back to the left here.
Oh, whack.
What a shot.
That was Snorky. Big Snorky Baker.
Corey Baker shooting off the line, setting some intensity. Not sure if he got him with his shoulder or his nose.
Well, the nose must have been first. Impossible not to hit it.
See Waratah pushing hard here. And the 19, he's decided he's had enough after that. He's sprinted for the bench.
Shot of the day.
They got the numbers here, but they've put it down. That's just been Waratah's Achilles heel today. Just inability to complete. They had probably 4 players. I mean, they might have been short on space. They had 4 players on 2 there.
Yep.
And just needed to stick it in the hands.
Too much, really.
Yeah, sums it up for them.
Sometimes you just have one of them games, mate.
You know, hopefully for them, the halftime break can come and they can flick the reset switch and come back out and get into this arm wrestle score first in the second half. They certainly will be doing all they can to ensure that Dudley don't get another one on the board before half-time as we tick down under 2 minutes. If I was Waratah, I'd be finding every trick in the book to slow this scrum down and take up as much time as I could.
I can't believe they all got in there that quick to pack it.
Yeah, I would have been tying my shoelaces 3 or 4 times. Remembering I didn't know how to tie my shoelaces.
Just walked the wrong side of the field.
Yeah, pack on the wrong side of the scrum, anything you want.
Oh.
Sheridan almost burst through there. Managed to get him on his back and slow it down a little. That's the experience of Warren Towers in that tackle. The hooker scoots and finds his way straight back into the markers. There's that man Corey Baker scooting. They've got the numbers here. Oh. Cut out to the winger.
A little bit of NFL going on there.
Right in front of us, the hook goes to Stafford. Just goes himself. Young Nathan Stafford there on tackle 4. Gets him into the attacking half. Yeah, the back to Tuckerman. He goes wide to Williams. They really like sending those big bodies hard on the edge. Sheridan screaming for the ball back here on the left. There you go, the blind again though.
That's soft.
He's beaten a couple of tacklers. Dives over in the corner.
Got to kill you going into half time.
No, he's been held short.
Thought he was in for all money.
I thought he'd scored, but, you know,
He
that's
looked
probably
over
why
for
Ken
me.
Wetherell's over there and we're here.
Correct.
Waratah will have breathed a huge sigh of relief there because there can't have been much in that as the clock ticks down to about 15 seconds to go. They won't want to play this. They won't want to do anything here. It'll just be a surrender tackle, roll around, see how long lay on the ground. No, he's gone for the quick play the ball.
Yeah, sent the two little fellas in.
Should be all she wrote. It certainly is. We go to the half-time break
the
here.
siren straight out of Bakesy's nostrils.
Go to the half-time siren here. It is 26 points to 6. The Dudley Magpies resounding lead over the Waratah Mayfield Cheetahs here on Bar TV Sports. Thanks to Quizmasters Trivia. We'll take a break and we'll rejoin you in about 5 to 10 minutes with the second half of Wednesday night Newcastle and Hunter Rugby League.
Also another main sponsor, that's lead sponsors, Charlestown Steering, all-purpose self-storage. Also we have Newcastle Tile Company and Mandor Smith, the tiling specialist. Individual jumper sponsors, we have Auto One Mourners Bay, Whitebridge Butchery, Street Property Group, Hastings Street Real Estate, Auto One Mourners Bay, NS Bulk, Wade Fabrications, Kendon, Neil Tyres, Davan, Jimmy the Rocks, Wadey's Pool Hall, and Domino's Pizza. the raffle has been drawn with first prize, the green ticket, A77, green ticket, A77, and second prize is blue ticket, B71, blue ticket, B71. Oh.
About 10 minutes. I was just standing there just wrapping up a conversation and they started walking past. I was like, shit. Oh no, they get across. Welcome back for the second half of the Bar TV Wednesday night Newcastle and Hunter Community Rugby League match between the Dudley Magpies and the Waratah Mayfield Cheetahs. At the halftime hooter, Dudley led 26 points to 6, and it's Dudley on our left here, running left to right, who will bring us back underway in a couple of moments' time when we have some match officials and a ball back out here, rejoined by Aaron Morris, the captain coach of Belmont South Rabbitohs. Dudley were all class in that first half.
Yeah, mate. As I said, it's just hard up here to play them at night, let alone it being Anzac Day, or Anzac Day Eve, sorry. So they were always going to be up for this game.
They certainly are. They've made it sort of their new tradition to play on Anzac Eve. The last 3 years, I think it is, they've played in their Anzac strip, and I see there's a lot of people a lot of punters on the hill that have bought the jerseys as well. I understand all the proceeds go towards return services charity. As we wait for the referees, everyone's out here. It's not often you see all the players out here waiting for the referees, but
Kenny must be cold, mate.
There's not much of him, so
very little.
He's probably in there getting into some henny penny, mate. He's a big fan. I think they're his number one sponsor.
He just jumped in a bar for deep heat.
He's ready to rock and roll. That's probably what makes him run so fast, because it looks like it's all skeletons. So, as we said before, he does a great job. He's probably he's certainly been one of the best if you do it over a period of years. But the last few years that I've seen, he's right up amongst it. And he could probably still handle the higher grades as well.
He's been around for a very long time, hasn't he?
Oh, a false start. He psyched Tuckerman out there. Nathan Tuckerman brings us underway. Kicks it deep and left. Oh, awkward catch there. Waratah find the middle. Tackle one to start off this second half. They scoot it out. They go back to the same pattern they used in the first half. A lot of scoots in the first half for Waratah when they bring it out of their own red zone. And here they go again. As we touched on before, they've got a few of their bigger forwards out, but they're really expecting a lot of their outside backs coming in for scoots.
Yeah, it's a bit worrying first set of the second half. The forwards already not putting their hand up. But
yeah, the first prop that does get the ball, catches it flat-footed and is put on his back, Michael French. As they now go back to the right. Tackle 5, and they've made it only out to the 40. They go to the boot of Boney, who's not normally their long kicking option.
That's ugly.
Oh, Morton.
Forward.
Looked like it was a knock on. He got away with that one. Like we said, some nights it's just not your night and the bounce goes against you.
Basically anything down's a knock on now, isn't it?
pretty much. Certainly as if you're catching it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. They got it.
There we go. A bit of justice there. Be a while since you've been under a high ball, wouldn't it?
I might even put myself back to fullback on Saturday. We'll just see how we go.
Who have you got on Saturday?
Fingal up there, mate. So
I saw them last week.
A pretty tough game.
Went up and watched them against Dudley. Their halves very strong. They've got a guy up from Asquith, Evander Waitoa, the 6. He's nuggety half, and Jake Redmond's just. Well, he's not the craftiest half, but just he's always there and about. Plays like another fullback and support play as well. So they'll be a much improved side throughout the season, and I think they'll be in the mix. Obviously, you know, anyone that you talk to says it's Dora Creek's comp to lose at the moment with everything they've added to what was already a strong side.
Yeah, they seemed a pretty tight-knit team last year, Dora Creek, and they all seemed like a bunch of local boys. So I don't know how it'll all go with an influx of new players coming and taking some local spots, but I guess that's probably anyone's only hope to beat them. A little bit of disharmony amongst the playing group because it's a pretty red-hot team.
I said to someone the other day, that side to go close to winning a reserve grade comp with the depth they've got.
It's the best team that's been assembled in the comp since I've been playing it.
They got a prop that scored 4 tries last week. How do you come up against that?
Who was that?
Diamond Charlie. What a name too.
I think I know the guy.
Up there with Waratah's Buster G, who's not here tonight. It's the 2 best names in Newcastle Hunter Rugby League. As Waratah go on the attack out wide through Boney. Try to get the arm free there. Looks like Mikey Nanai there. Not mistaken, Mikey Nanai might have played a few games for Central a few years ago. So they go right. There's that danger man again, Alia. Romadzik looked to get it away, but it's ended up in the hands of a Dudley player. That's probably what we talked about when we talked about that panic setting in, just not pushing those passes just because you're in that red zone opportunity.
Yep. It was a bit of a bomb chance. It was probably on there. One early try can put a little bit of pressure back on Dudley. So,
and they put a bit of salt on the wound there, giving away a penalty. And it's that man. He's made 2 errors back to back. You don't see too many out of him earlier. But it's amazing sometimes when you seem to be the only man going forward for a team, you feel like you've got to try and do everything. And sometimes it can backfire. And it looks like it has there. As Dudley now kick for touch on the western side of Dudley Oval here. Wednesday night, Quizmasters, Newcastle and Hunter Community Rugby League. Fixture brought to you by Bar TV Sports. We've got the Dudley Magpies in the white, leading Waratah Mayfield Cheetahs in the gold and maroon, 26 points to 6 in the early stages of this second half. Oh, a very questionably short 10 metres there. I'm not sure whether it was the tap was taken on the wrong mark or what happened. Dudley on the march now, up to the 30-metre line. So they're setting up for a set play here. They go back to the left. Out the back of the second man play, and it looks like it's come off an absolute treat.
Oh.
He's been pulled down in the corner, probably
that's close.
Half a metre short and half a metre inside the touchline. Oh, they go back to the blind side again, and it pays dividends for Dudley. That blindside play is just coming up trumps for Dudley day in, day out. Very impressive. That extends their lead 30-6. And I'll be honest myself, I'd love to be proven wrong, but I don't see a way back for the Cheetahs.
Nah, it's a long road back from here, mate. They had to be first to score to just try and put a bit of doubt in Dudley's head, but they just look pretty switched on tonight.
This is the Dudley side that a lot of people talked about. They saw the new signings, and we sort of talked about that it might be I think people sort of had probably 4 teams in that mix, and 2 of these sides here are, I guess, were the unknowns with a lot of new signings. But yeah, I'd say both these sides will be around come August. But Fingal's probably the surprise packet for a lot of people. They've gone up a yard from last year when they missed the finals. Yeah,
I'm a little bit interested to see Saturday. I don't really know too much about Fingal, so I don't really know what we're going up there to face. But I hear they've got a pretty big pack that rotates pretty well and keeps their forwards moving pretty fit throughout the game. So I'm not too sure how we go about the game plan till we get up there.
Yeah, they certainly do have a bunch. I was quite surprised. You quite often see in the A grade when they've got some bigger bodies that come off the bench that are a bit bigger than the starting pack. You quite often expect them to be, a bit more lethargic, not quite as much punch, but they didn't seem to miss a beat. Some big bodies that played just as well on the edge as they would through the middle. Yep. There didn't seem to be too many huge gaps in their team, to be honest. They seemed to, and the difference between their best player and their worst player wasn't a huge difference, which can be
Very big thing in a pub comp, mate.
Certainly can, because you quite often find, especially, you know, once you start, if you have that drop off to your bench, you know, you're either tearing out in, you know, the minutes out of a key player in those big games, and you know they hit the back end and they can't get through the last 10, and or you're just having to overplay some of those players who might not quite be at that level. And
yeah, it definitely takes a good squad to win, not just a top 19. You know, it's a long year. A lot of people go away. A lot of things happen throughout the year of the pub comp where it's a little bit more laid back. So it's very rare you're going to get your top 19 players actually on the field at the same time. So
yeah, well, I spoke to Woodbury's president Troy Graham the other day, and he was saying to me that they've got 9 out at Groove and the Moose. So you know, good priority levels there for A grade. So
well,
that's when you have a young side, I suppose.
Hopefully, Fingal's got a lot out. It's a long trip to go up there if it's for a tough game to lose.
That's one thing that adds to it, isn't it? It is a long trip up there to Fingal. It's pretty much the furthest point out you can get to going up to the northeast corner.
Yeah.
I will say they do put on good hospitality up there, though, Fingal, and they're always quite welcoming after the game. So it's always nice after you've beaten living daylights out of each other on the field to be able to have a beer together. So
it's the good part about it, mate. You've got to go and have a beer after it. What happens on the field stays on the field. There's always a bit of banter, but it's just a bit light-hearted, really. Just a bit of mind games.
100% as we see Dudley come down the blind side.
Carve.
Oh, Tom Morton with an easy dummy. He's got Terry Collins trailing inside, but he goes himself, beats the fullback, beats a couple more, but he had the support there. It's still on, though. They can swing it back to the left. They go to Terry Collins. He runs himself. No, he passes to Corey Baker. He goes out to Nathan Stafford. They've got numbers on the outside.
Get low. Too easy.
That's either the second or the third for the flying left winger for Dudley, Riley Adlington. And Dudley, this has got shades of Parramatta and the West Tigers about it.
I would have rather than wait a couple more weeks to click, but we'll see how we go.
Hopefully they peak now, mate.
I'm actually looking forward to next week. It should be a good game. It's always a good, tough physical game with Dudley, and a few of the boys know each other too, so it gives us that little bit of extra feeling.
Yeah, it'll be a cracker. I'm sure Corey Baker will be looking for you after all your feedback.
Well, if he hits me like he hit old mate down there, I might just take the clipboard out for that game and just sit on the sideline.
20th man.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got plenty in this week, boys. I'll save myself.
I've always been a cat.
The one thing about Bass is when he does hit, you know you've been hit, that's for sure. He's not the biggest bloke, but he can stick a man. And, you know, you have a look at how their pack's gone tonight, and they add the Canadian import Sam Collins into that team. So, speaking of blokes that fire up and talk some chat.
I hear he likes a bit of niggle, so it should be good out there. We've got a few blokes that like to play the same game, so could be an interesting game next Friday. Hey,
Nathan Stafford hits the post and drops it over.
Trick shot.
It's like he's been playing pool. Extends their lead out to 36 points to 6. Dudley now lead. 5 converted tries. And I think that's the fat lady warming up her vocal cords already on the hill here with 30 minutes to go.
It's hard to see him coming back from here, mate.
It certainly is. Waratah just working through it. Getting ready to kick off again, but... yeah, I heard an interesting description of Sam Collins from someone who watched one of their trials, and they said Sam Collins is the only player they've ever seen that from the kick. Oh, it's Dudley make an absolute meal of the kickoff. Mate, he's the only player they've seen that just looks like he's about to be sent off from the kickoff to the final siren.
I've never actually played the bloke. I wouldn't even really know him if I see him, but I've heard he's a pretty fiery bloke to handle. So
he loves a bit of niggle, loves a bit of chat. I had some run-ins with Sam and I referee. I get along well with him now, mate. He's much like yourself, doesn't mind talking a bit of chat out there and, you know, amongst the boys, but great to have a beer with off the field. So, and that's what this pub com's all about, though, as you said. Is just, you know, blokes that can have a bit of banter, enjoy their footy without going quite too far, take it to the line, as we see Waratah. And he's passed it to his knees there.
It's just been the trend of the night for him, hasn't it?
And then he's been driven into touch because he just laid there.
That'll be about the 4th or 5th missed opportunity where it just had to stick the pass and they're over. And it could be an interesting game, but... just not working out for him.
Yeah, that's it. There's a lot of quiet Waratah players. Heads down. The only bloke that seems to be getting a bit fired up about Dwayne Sampson. He's trying to rev the boys up a little bit here. A bit of pride in the jersey. And that could be the difference, you know, heading into next week's fixture too, is, you know, if you just keep leaking tries, it's not going to be a fun time at training, you know, for the next week and a half, let alone, but, you know, you put a bit of pride in the jersey, keep this to, you know, bring it back to 36-20 or something, and all of a sudden you've got something to build towards next week.
Yeah, just... get a good attitude back at training, but yeah, you got to finish the game good to get that attitude there, or it's just somber, and then you might go to training with 6 or 7 blokes. Everyone's got the shits, but
Yeah, that's it. And captain coach can't even just send him for laps then, can he?
Oh, mate, there've been so many nights where I've just wanted the core training off and I've just got to go. But
see Tuckerman kicks the corner. Boney back there, the half. Picks that one up. Looks like Waratah might be down a winger on this left edge, which is not ideal. They really just don't look like they've got any real direction of where they're going, Waratah at the moment. It's just sort of each bloke doing his own thing, and it's an easy trap to fall into when you start to go down by a few tries.
the big boys are just sort of bumbling back behind the line, not really putting their hand up too much, and it's just a bit of a hard funk to get out of.
Certainly is. A couple of the most enthusiastic runs I've seen from their forwards have been decoy runs on the blind side in the last few tackles, which is not ideal. You want to get them in the middle and put their hand up to cart the ball forward.
The big fella's name mustn't be too good because he was a pretty handy player against us.
Yeah, certainly Sione Isaiah looks like he's... I don't expect to be the quickest bloke out there, but he's really struggling to even get into a jog at the moment. So I'm guessing they must be down some numbers on their bench at the moment. And they've got their prop that was chopped in half in the first half, the 19. He's playing on the wing now, so it's been a real reshuffle. They're obviously a little decimated. Speaking of tackles that chop blokes in half, that was a pretty handy tackle, none other than Dwayne Sampson there.
On the snorky.
Corey Baker.
They've been into it tonight, them two.
Yeah, as I said, they'd have plenty of history from the lower grades, and they played for South Newcastle and Central Newcastle, respectively. Both stalwarts of the grade competitions. Set here to the right, Dudley. Stafford puts it high. She's wobbling. There's no one at home. I was going to say the best thing that could happen for Waratah here is if this just bounces dead. But referee's called it as a 20-metre restart. There's a bit of confusion here. Touchy saying goal line dropout. Saying the fullback's grabbed it and taken it dead, so we'll wait and see what comes out of this. Said he's grabbed it in the field of play and taken it dead. And we go back for a goal line dropout. Waratah would have been hoping to sneak away with that one, and again, they just can't quite get it up the green.
Mate, I'm honest with you, I was too busy looking at my phone. I'm just copping a bit of a heckling off a couple of the boys. They've left the field just to go back to the Monday's dirty little house and have a laugh at me on Bar TV. So it's called for a shout out. Me bald, poor mate, Scotty Hartley. There you go, buddy.
His name's Scott Hartley, that's from New South Wales and goes to Queensland.
That's him, but
Yeah,
he's a lot
right.
poorer and a lot balder now.
Yeah, right. Is he still running around, Scott Hartley?
He is, mate. He's our Goulburn import this year. He's gone down to Goulburn to teach, and he's driving back on the weekends for the games. So.
Well, hopefully I'm involved in commentary next week and can critique Scotty and his wonderful game.
You'll have to
he's a handy
critique
enough
him.
footballer.
You'll
I
have
will
to
give him
critique
that.
him in spirit. He can't make Friday night games because he
Of course not.
too
Too
long
far
of a
back.
trip. Yeah, by the time he finishes school, he won't make it.
That's all right. So he needs to tune into Bar TV Sports and be able to keep up with all of it.
We'll just give him enough tonight to make up for 2 weeks, eh?
Yeah, why not? He'd be loving it at the moment. The Broncos are going good too, so it's got to be right amongst us. We see Dudley on the attack.
I'd love for one of our teams to be going good so we give the other one a bit of stick, but we're both going as bad as each other, unfortunately.
Yeah, this is true. We see Stafford take on the blind side. Dudley trying to barge over through their centres. It's amazing. Stafford looked a little bit flat early on. As they start to get more run on, he's looking confident, taking on the line plenty.
Game's getting easier, mate. He's a cat, Staff. Look at him.
Is that the young mule? Has he barged over? No, he's been held up. Not even sure if it is him.
I was a bit shocked when he was saying that he's naturally not a half, but every time I've played him, he's played in the halves, and he's always been a pretty handy half, Staff. He's pretty good on his feet.
Yeah, I've seen him playing some of the outside backs a bit more. I suppose I haven't probably dealt with him since juniors, so I might be a bit misjudged there, but I know he wasn't, from talking to Terry
Forward.
Collins. Oh, that looked a questionable pass.
Forward.
Touchdown just called it forward. Nathan, the call from Waratah, he's trying to play gridiron. Nathan Tuckerman thought he was Tom Brady for a moment there. That's all right.
They've been getting away with everything else. You just got to test them out, mate.
Well, you got the licence to try anything you want when you're up by 30. So, what's happened here? We've got Winger dropping back to fullback. Tom Morton's going off by the look of it.
That'd be a pretty handy injury for us if he was out next week.
Yeah, certainly
that a
wouldn't
pretty
go
good
astray
game?
for you, that's for sure. Could have a matchup of, some lightning fullbacks. Put Terry Collins at fullback against Aaron Morris at fullback.
Well, we're missing our fullback for the next 2 weeks, which is going to hurt us a bit. He's been pretty solid for us since he finally taught him out of partying and coming to play.
Mitch Saxon fumbles it, but he's knocked it backwards clearly, that one. Kenny Weatherall calls it as such. Almost a body slam there from Josh R.C. Dudley just looking like they've got much more intent still in this game. Got some real purpose about what they're doing.
Oh. Didn't miss that.
And no, I think he might have ducked into a forearm there.
He took it well.
That's knocked down. That should be 6 more. Yep.
A bit more intensity from Waratah set, but
Prop scooting out of dummy half now. It's all happening. Joel Williams picks up another 15 to 20 metres. Oh, player all through the ruck there. That was a horrible play of the ball and a horrible effort from the defence. It is walking for the Dudley Magpies. We see Terry Collins go to dummy half to Nathan Tuckerman.
We'll get another try.
Cut out ball.
Good ball.
All the way to the winger. Can he get in for his third? No, he's brought down. About 12 out from the line on the far touch line. They'll bring it back. Stafford goes himself. The blindside play works again. Easy as you like. Riley Adlington.
He's got a few tonight. He's got a few tonight.
And with how much success it's bringing them, I wouldn't be surprised if he picked up another 1 or 2. Dudley Magpies, 40 points to 6. They lead with a kick to come. Nathan Stafford's had plenty of practice from out there. See if he can pull out another trick shot and drop this one over.
Yeah, I want to see him hit all 3 posts this time.
That'd be impressive. That would be impressive. But, not good news for you blokes either when he's getting plenty of wide goal kicking practice if it is a tight one against Dudley next week. You never. In saying that, I think you'll experience a different heckling at Leningan Oval to what he might get here.
Yeah, it should be a good crowd down there next week. Hopefully most of the Dudley crowd comes down there and gets a good atmosphere. But we get a pretty good crowd down there, so I've been enjoying the move from Barton back to Dudley.
It's a nice little short scoot down the Dudley Redhead Road there out to what's essentially just the edge of Jules at Belmont North. So
yep.
No real excuse not to be there. All the Dudley fans and hopefully plenty of Belmont locals and even some of the Swansea boys and that come up and have a look.
Yeah, I think we'll get a pretty good crowd there next week. As I said, it'd be a good local derby, these 2 games of us throughout the year, and I'd be pretty shocked if we don't come across them in the semis at some point. But yeah, they've got a pretty good outfit, and they're starting to put it together tonight. So I guess they can only get better.
They certainly can as Stafford pushes that one across the face. Score remains 40 points to 6 to Dudley. I don't think many people would have tipped the margin of this one coming into tonight. I tipped it at the start. I thought it was only going to be 2 or 4 points in it. So I
wouldn't have tipped this much, but I was thinking Dudley comfortably, but not this comfortably. I didn't realise that Waratah had a couple of their big boys out, but them big boys would have made a fair bit of difference in the middle. They just get that roll on for them, and they were very hard to stop in the game that we played them. So
I still don't know if Jason Bainey will be accepting that as 6 tries difference at this point. There's still 20 minutes to play. Plenty to play for, though, for Waratah here. Put some fight in. And I suppose for Dudley, a loss here could have actually, put them in that, talk of regrading. So they'll be quite happy because I know A-grade was always their mission this year and they've got the side to be there. So
you couldn't regrade them with the players they got.
No, you wouldn't have thought so. As we see Cody Bridges cart that one forward. It's the first time I've noted him out there tonight. Coming off the bench, another former Central lower grader. Dudley just looking like world beaters every man that runs the ball, so
big Snorky Baker's
getting through another run.
Snorky Baker's been moved in the hooker. This could be dangerous. He'll be looking to nose his way through something here.
And knows where that nose will end up as he goes into the ruck. Jacob Hosking cuts it forward. There's that loose arm we talked about. They're ready for it this time. Sport player. It looks like he's blowing young Hosko. I don't know where he's going there. He's wandering through the ruck. Oh, someone's giving him some feedback there, Kenny Weatherall. He's not happy with that. Can this be Waratah's opportunity to build a bit of momentum to finish the final 19.5 minutes of this Win Network A-grade premiership clash?
It'd be good to see him get a try and just make it a little bit interesting for the rest of the game because it's all one-way traffic at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, a couple of late tries have certainly add some pride to it. And as I said, give them something to build on. They've got, they're going to have essentially, I think it's 2.5 weeks before their next fixture. So have some
Yeah,
time to
I
work.
wasn't even aware of this whole thing.
Yeah, so I think next weekend technically is a rest weekend, barring your game from what I looked at the draw. I could be mistaken, it could be the weekend after, but yeah, so might just suss that out.
I guess I haven't been too hands-on as a coach, have I? I don't even know when we're playing.
Oh, you don't need to worry about the other team's draws, do you? Just worry about yours.
There
Here
you
we
go.
go. Waratah on the
Oh, you're
outside.
joking.
Oh, don't pass it, son. Just hold it. There we go. Waratah still with some prime attacking position here. Just going to go to the bash and barge, Waratah, as they send one of their big bodies forward. That's tackle 3. They've got some options. They've got the back line set here. They can use the hands. I think they'll look to use Romadzik here. No, they use him as a decoy. Go across the face ball.
Swing it. Waited too late.
Still got the numbers here on the outside if they can use it. He's throwing the ball into the Dudley player there. One of the first skills you learn if you're going to draw them in. If it's not on, you don't try and throw it through him.
I don't think it ever works, ever.
No. That's why I just don't pass. I never bothered.
That's why I just run decoys. I don't have to get caught in that situation.
You don't have the ball in hand, you can't drop it, and you can't throw it to the wrong person.
That's right.
Waratah. Now look to try and in at Dudley down in this end. Dudley have been making easy work of marching downfield, so it'll be quite surprising here. Looks like they've got know what's going on here. Sheridan's getting ready to run, and they haven't even packed the scrum yet, so he's getting a little bit excited, going off early. Carts it forward now, almost out to the 20-metre line. Corey Baker, the man at dummy half, pops his head out and gives it off to the left. I will say Dudley much improved on their discipline from their last game against Fingal Bay. It was a big issue for them up there at Fingal. One thing Fingal have got in spades is discipline. They were very well drilled and well behaved. Knew how to prompt the responses, I guess, from the Dudley forwards.
Yeah, they seemed a pretty chill team last year when we played them up there too. They are pretty clean. I don't know too much about them outside of footy, but there was no niggle in the game or anything. So they just thought to get out there and play footy and get on with it, which is good sometimes in this comp.
Yeah, I'm not sure who Tuckerman was chipping for there, but it was cleaned up by Jason Boney. The captain coach has probably been one of the standout performers alongside Dwayne Sampson for Waratah tonight. He's certainly done a lot of work, but it's been to no avail as they still trail 40 points to 6 with just over 16 minutes remaining here at Dudley Oval.
There they go.
There's that man Dwayne Sampson, a little nugget charging forward, almost the halfway line. Oh, they've got good shape here now to the left. They're just going one off to the centre. I have to say, it looks like the outside backs have taken about 60% of the hit up so far for Waratah. I'm not sure what the game plan is. There we go, again out the back.
Good
Cut
ball.
out ball, good ball. I'm not sure he really, that was the plan. He just decided to head infield there. 19 there, Josh Gibson. Boney sends it up, a wobbling torpedo. They'll let that one bounce. Dudley, they've got plenty of time. They've tucked it under, and they bring it back out almost about 35 out from their own line here. Even there, just no chase from Waratah on a high kick. Just looks like they've already got their mind on next game.
The effort seemed to have disappeared a bit, but I think just by watching it, they must have a few injuries in the forwards that they've picked up throughout the game also. That's the only thing that makes sense for such a heavy work rate from the backs, because they're just not putting their hand up, the big boys.
They must have an injury toll between all of them.
Pass.
Great ball there from Stafford as it gives it on to Collins. Collins gives it out the winger, gets it again, gives it back inside to the hooker. Oh, Terry Collins. Would have been his third involvement in that one, but couldn't quite reel it in.
Is he still on a nudie? Because he'd be filthy if he is.
I think the Collins boys are the sorts of boys that even if they scored bunches of hat-tricks, they'll still be getting nude on Mad Monday. So,
good on them.
Yeah, exactly. There's got to be some of those guys around each club. I never had to concern myself with that. I never got across the stripe, really. So I did that year that we were both at Lakes. So one of the few. I think Ags was very dirty that day. Actually, he was the water boy in third grade. I scored on full time in the last game of the year.
I think he still had you nude that night anyway in the Sporties, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, well, the less said about that, the better. As Waratah bring it out from their own 20-metre line. Driven backwards. Plenty of numbers in the tackle from Dudley. Waratah just look like they're going play by play. They don't really have any shape to it as they break through here on the edge. It seems to be throwing it around, hoping that something might come off. As Romazik takes it forward again. Plenty of numbers in the tackle from Dudley. And swing it, Towers to Boney, chips.
Not a bad kick.
RC couldn't quite get there. Picked up Kirk Roberts, made that look quite easy. What was probably a difficult pickup down around his knees.
He done well under pressure.
Certainly did. Tuckerman, here's Cody Bridges carting it forward for Dudley into the attacking half. Not sure when you're down by 6 tries, whether a chip and chase from inside your own half is necessarily the go-to play. It's a risky one. Certainly turns over possession in a dangerous area.
Cardiff got us a couple of times with that last week.
Young Freddie Campbell.
Freddie Campbell, yeah, he's got a good little short kicking game on him. He's found us out a few times in the trial. He got us, and he got us last week a couple of times. Just kicks you can't defend.
Yeah, it's hard for that unpredictable sort of stuff, but you know it's great when it comes off. Unfortunately, when it doesn't, though, you're gifting territory, as we see here. Tackle 5 there, 9 out from the line. Tom Morton nearly strode over there, but for an excellent one-on-one strip by Waratah. Some smart play there. I think it might have been that being Jason Boney again. Realised he was giving away plenty of weight and just decided the smartest thing to do was attack the slightly loosely carried ball. Waratah struggling to make the metres. That's tackle 2, I think. Now, they're not quite at the 20. It's 19 Gibson playing it there on tackle 3. Yeah, Waratah must be a bit decimated, as you say here. There's plenty of backs taking runs, but then they've got a prop on the wing as well. So,
yeah, they look like a very different team that we faced the other week. I don't know whether it's injuries or if they lost a couple or what, but there's a couple of big boys missing that caused a bit of grief, and the backs just seem to be doing all the dirty work for them.
Yeah, the left here, RC. Oh.
He nearly dummied left to no one.
It was the last tackle, unfortunately. I don't know what happened there. The 16 from Dudley. Ben Roddenby just pulled up lame as he went to go to accelerate sideways to tackle. But I think Shortland showed it last year. It's not really all about every result during the year. If you can just get your way into, especially into the top 3, you put yourself in a good stead so long as you've got everyone on the paddock come August, September.
That year we won in 2015, I think it was, we lost our first 4 games in a row. And then I think we were getting beat about 28-6 at half-time by Uni. And it all sort of clicked from there. So, yeah, a couple of losses aren't bad.
They're another side that's probably a good example of that. I think they'd won Uni last year in the B grade. Had won 1 from 8 or 1 from 9. Then they finished with 10 straight to get to the grand final. So
yeah,
it's all about being in form at the right time of the year. 5 wins now doesn't count for much come August.
Not at all.
We see Waratah now. This is probably the best early ball they've had on halfway on tackle 1. They're just really struggling for options. Another panicked offload there, but has managed to find the mark. As we see Josiah take the ball forward. Boney setting a play here. He's calling for the ball. There's a gaping hole out here in the centres. If he can get the ball early. Got big numbers here. Probably got a 2 or 3 man overlap. Can they make use of it?
They just seem to be one play too late.
Waratah. A couple of times they've begged for a penalty and managed to get the result in this second half, but it doesn't seem to be helping them too much. They probably didn't want the penalty there, Chop. They probably would have been better off with just continuing to throw the ball out.
Well, Barney Adams sat out here, and they did look a little bit short, but I think they probably should have went on that play. I reckon he would have got him.
100%. Might have been that play we talked about earlier where I think Dudley would have had to slide too hard as we see Dwayne Sampson go back against the grain and dot down under the post.
Hard to stop the keg on legs.
Certainly is, Sambo. I'm still waiting for his promised chip and chase from him. He promised me one in the pre-season interview, so we're still waiting for that. And his coach gave him a go-ahead, which was even more surprising.
There was no time like the present. It could
that's exactly right. So
ignite a 30-point turnaround.
Why not? 5
An
tries in 9 minutes.
unlikely 30-point turnaround.
30 points, of course, is Waratah now 10. Dudley 40 with a kick to come. I'll be very surprised if Jason Boney made any mistake with this one, and it should make it 40 points to 12. Just over 8 minutes remaining in this Win Network A-grade premiership game. And sure enough, Boney makes no mistake there. And it closes the gap to 28 points. Waratah 12, Dudley Magpies 40. Unfortunately, left their run a little bit too late here, Aaron.
Yeah, mate. A little bit of consolation there for big Dwayne Sampson. But yeah, I'm pretty intrigued to see this chip and chase now you mention it. It'll be quite the spectacle.
Yeah, well, he tells me he's a halfback trapped in a props body, so there's plenty of those running around in the Newcastle Rugby League. Some of them that actually get allowed to play half.
Yeah, well, Robbie Payne was the absolute definition of that.
I was thinking it, I didn't want to say it.
He was the biggest mess of a half I've ever played footy with. Carried him a whole year to a grand final, the whole Windale team that year. He still thanks us.
Yeah, big-bodied halves and big-bodied wingers are what Newcastle Hunter's all about. Speaking of Windale, mate, Scotty Salter, mate, he spent a lot of time floating out in the wing. I think he was playing as prop, but...
Mate, the year that we played that year, me and him were starting front row, I laughed my head off. I couldn't believe it. Said to him, if you ever had a pick at the start here that made him to be starting front row in a grand final team, I would have laughed at anyone.
Well, the ends justify the means. As you see earlier, Romadzik card it forward towards halfway here for Waratah. Hopefully they can finish with a bit of a flurry, maybe pick up a couple more tries, add a bit of respect to this scoreline. They almost slipped through there on the right-hand edge. Bring it back to the left through Romadzik. Gives it off to the fullback there in Whipper. Bring it left, Towers.
Oh,
to Boney. Slips the first one. Cut out ball to RC. He's kicked it there, and unfortunately...
Probably could have passed inside.
Optimistic call for a charge down there, but I think there was about 4 knock-ons. I don't think he had too much confidence in the man outside in there.
Just got to keep them on their toes, the refs, mate.
Yeah, well, that's it. You never know. If you don't ask, you'll never get, that's for sure.
Closed mouths don't get fed.
Waratah now with the opportunity to try and pin Dudley back inside their red zone. RC looked dangerous there. I thought he might have just tried to cut back inside and go himself.
Well, he had the runner up the inside. The pass is probably the better option.
There they go. Take it to the right. Jackson Myers.
They've had their opportunities. They've bombed a few tries. They could have made a fair game out of it if some of them last passes had hit the mark.
Well, that's it. You add another couple of tries to where they are now, and if this gets converted, they're only down by 2 more tries. That's only 10 points. All of a sudden, we've got a red-hot finish on our hands. So
yeah, Dudley just capitalised on every chance they've had. I think they've converted. But Waratah, I think 4 or 5 bomb tries. Last pass just going to the ground. Could have been a very different game if a few of them had hit the mark.
Yeah, exactly right. And just as we talked about, a few of those sort of desperation plays, and just Dudley, that try in the first half down in that far right corner. They just wanted that a little bit more. We've seen a few times where Waratah probably just haven't had that desire, and a combination of that and converting your opportunities is probably the 4 tries difference here tonight. So there's probably not that much separating these two teams. And as we talked about before, I probably had these guys pinned, in that bunch of 3rd, 4th, 5th sort of thing at the start of the season. So
I think they'll still be there, mate. They've still got a pretty good team, and Dudley just come out the blocks tonight, and they're just them little 1%ers. Their line speed's been unreal, and it's just cut their big boys down too quick. Everything they've done, they've just had that little bit of extra about them. So
certainly have, and certainly they've fired up for this Anzac Eve clash, and it's a special clash to the boys from Dudley. I know that they talked about that earlier in the week. So They've stepped up and shown what they can do. And as you say, these two sides will probably be there come final time, barring, one of these sides coming up from B grade probably and rattling some cages. I think there's probably 5 sides that should fall in the mix of the finals from what we've seen so far.
I hear some good things about Uni, so I'm interested to see when they come up.
Their addition of Jared Rodham has been huge for them. They didn't really have a strong half, so for him to come over and it's a nice little story too. He followed his girlfriend over there, and
that's cute.
Now she's not playing because she's popped a bub out, and he is. So it's been a good addition for them, and he'll know a lot of these Waratah boys, so there'll be no love lost if they come up against him. So we see Waratah pick up a penalty. They could go for that late flurry here. 3.5 minutes to go, and they trail 40 points to 18. They'll get an opportunity here, about 40 out from the try line to go on the attack, Waratah. Looks like it'll be Jackson Myers will take this tap. And he goes himself. The last try scorer. He's been driven. I was going to say almost into touch, but he's been driven into touch.
I hate that as a forward.
Yeah, that's the cardinal sin there, isn't it?
Just get in there and take your medicine, mate.
I don't care if you go back 10 metres, just don't go out 10 metres.
Mate, we've got one bloke in our team, Matt Monday. I've never seen the bloke scoot open. He'll scoot the blind every time and get thrown over the edge. He just needs to learn to take his medicine.
Yeah, either that or just give it off to someone else. If you really don't want it, there'll be someone else that can take it.
Yeah, just run a decoy or something Monday.
Take a leaf out of Aaron Morris's book. Decoy runs all day.
Best decoy runner in the comp.
The day someone wises up that, you might be in trouble.
Yeah, well, I probably shouldn't have said that online.
That's all right. It's got you through, 15 years now? So
yeah, we've gone this far with it.
Don't change a winning formula. It's got you to a couple of titles and all. As we see, big Joel Williams carted forward over halfway. Dudley looking like they've stepped up that intensity again for the finish here. Lost it. Yeah, touch just called that he's lost it.
I think the touchy wave that it was to say you lost it, so I don't know what they were all getting so worked up about.
They're all getting worked up, and
it's a pretty.
I haven't seen too many of them change their decisions, and I know I didn't change mine too often, even though sometimes I was probably wrong.
We've tried to argue it a lot of times, and I'm still yet to see one change.
I remember down at Belmont South there, Owie used to always be a very vocal man for trying to,
He was very manipulative.
I think one night he announced in the middle of a game, he said, I invited you to my house for dinner. Hey, try anything, Owie. He was a good footballer, but he had a sharp tongue too.
I've seen him move from a scrum and take it out the halfback's hands as he picked it up out the back of the scrum and run and score.
Deceptive.
I don't know how they let him be on side for that, but
he's Owen Craigie, man. He's a rule unto himself, that boy.
It was once against us when he was at Marylands, and I thought it was the biggest bullshit call I'd ever had, and then it was once with us when he was playing with us at Belmont, and I thought it was the greatest call I'd ever seen.
That's exactly right. It's all about the perspective. As we see Waratah on the attack here. Take it forward to about 20 out. They slip through. Jackson Myers with a double. Under the post.
Finished good.
He's finished with a flurry. I think he was playing for a contract in the last 10 minutes here. As we tick down under 60 seconds. That'll be all she wrote here at Dudley Oval. With the kick from Boney, it should go to 40 to 24. Only 3 tries separate, and this late flurry's probably flattered Waratah a little. But, Dudley, as we said, took all their opportunities. They've definitely been the better side, and the better side has won this one. I'd like to thank you, Chop, for joining us today. Good luck on Saturday.
Thanks,
up there
mate.
at Fingal Bay. Enjoy the road trip.
Oh, I can't wait. We couldn't even get a bus because of bloody groove in the move, so looks like we'll be carpooling up. There'll be no shenanigans on the way back. That'll have to wait till we get back to Agilsey Tav.
I'm sure you'll hopefully be painting the place red and green on Saturday night as we see Boney knock that one over. I don't think either side's going to be rushing to get back here for the last 10 seconds. So thank you, everyone, for tuning in here at Dudley Oval for Wednesday night Quizmasters Rugby League, brought to you by Bar TV Sports. Dudley running out winners 40 points to 22 over Waratah Mayfield Cheetahs to break their duck for season 2019. I've been Chris McPherson. Thanks for joining us. Thank you to my co-host, Aaron Morris from Belmont South, and enjoy your footy this weekend. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, mate.
Stories halfway through most of the game, so
International gymnast and WWF referee.
we'll get something during the week too. We're doing some profiles that we sent back from ones. Yeah. numbers, and then feel free to tweak some stuff to make it a bit more imaginative as you get through. It's just stuff like some of the questions like, you know, who do you least like playing against? If you could be one of your teammates for the day, who would you be and why? Well, that's obviously one that you just send a few down the path with. So a few questions, and if you come up with a question you just like to add in there.
I'm about to go and have a beer with the boys at the house. They were watching on the build. This is going back to missing shot. They don't like me playing. It's that Monday's out, so you can't Monday's down. Can't get your ass off. Anyway, boys, I'll catch up with you.
Yeah, I'll see you next Friday night.
Yeah, mate, no worries. Thanks, mate.
Yeah. Catch up with you.
See you, mate.